Hey gang, this week's parenting tip may be a little uncomfortable for some parents, as we would like to point out an area that many not only neglect in the lives of their children, but in their own lives as well. The need for a solid, consistent personal life of faith in God and commitment to a healthy group of believers, or in other words, church. We are convinced that life is out of balance without the spiritual component out front and center, and that it is an essential ingredient to raising healthy kids. So what does this look like? Well, first of all, it means that parents should be on a faith journey themselves. It is not necessary to have all the big questions figured out, but it is important that they are demonstrating an acknowledgement of God and His provision, as well as showing that they are pursuing knowing Him better. This often is displayed in meaningful rituals such as saying thank you before a meal, reading the Bible openly, and telling Bible stories to children. It is also demonstrated by consistent church attendance. Of course, we know that attending a church does not guarantee that a person becomes a seeker of God, but we are pretty sure that it is more effective than hanging out in the garage or on the golf course every Sunday. In fact, secular studies have shown over and over again that active church attendance is a key element in human lives that are happier, more fulfilled, less problematic on a number of levels, and that we are doing our kids a favor when we include them in a robust spiritual life. And for parents who truly do have a faith that they want their children to embrace, regular church participation is extremely helpful, especially if the church has a thriving program that engages kids and teens. By regular church attendance, we mean that Sunday morning worship is a priority, not one option of many other options. If we want our children to put God as a priority, we model that by putting a priority on the things of God. Blowing off church for sporting events or other competing options tells kids about what the parent really feels is important and where God comes on that list. We also believe it is a big mistake to let kids decide for themselves if they want to go to church. We understand that faith is a very personal issue, and one cannot, for example, mandate that a person be a Christ follower. It has to be their decision. But we do believe that by explaining to a young person who is pushing against going to church that active attendance is not an option as long as they are under the family roof, will put them in a much better place for their own faith to be ignited than left alone while the other family members go off to worship. Oh, and be wary of the clever excuses a teen who is in rebellion against all the standards of the family may give on why the church is so boring or even unhelpful to them. So, here's a great parenting tip. If you want your kids to turn into healthy, well-rounded adults, make sure that you are all active in church and that God is your first priority in your family. Live it, model it, practice it. It will make far more difference than you could ever imagine. And as always, stay calm and stay consistent.